Alright boys, how yous doing? So how yous doing? We're coming to you in this fine day from Madeline Home Video, and we're going to rate all the Dark Souls 1 bosses. So we have quite a roster of bosses here. Dark Souls was actually, fun enough, the first full game I finished on my stream. I played games here and there. I used to actually do a thing called PlayStation Per Hour, where I would just stream from the PlayStation whatever game came out in PS Plus, whatever I was playing at the time, you know. But I wouldn't do it. I would do it like random. Like it would sometimes be fucking like so many levels into the game, you know, or whatever. It was literally I would just go live using the built-in feature whenever I felt like it. But now, you know, obviously, when I started sorting things, started thinking about let's try and take this a bit more seriously, Dark Souls was the first one I went for. So we'll try and do this chronologically, or as chronologically as you can. So we'll start off with the first boss, the Stray Demon. No, Asylum Demon. I get confused between those two, which also I've just clicked. Both of them look exactly the same, so this could be the other one, and I don't know. But anyway, let's go for the Asylum Demon. Right, no, not the Stray Demon. Is this the Asylum Demon? No, I can't make it what that is. That's a Capra Demon. I got you, right. Capra's, well, that's a different kettlefish that we'll talk about afterwards. Stray Demon. Oh, this one beside him. This very dark image is the Asylum Demon. Sorry, my screen's really dark on my TV. I need to play around with the contrast on that. But anyway, so the Asylum Demon, I believe, is as close to a perfect boss as you can as a tutorial boss. Yeah, he's pretty easy. I think I've died to him literally once. That's when I first played Dark Souls. But as a thing that comes in and teaches you, just like you can't win every battle, so you probably should run away. When you get a bit more equipped, he teaches you things like dodging. He teaches you the piercing attacks from like falling. Teaches you, and if you learn things as you go, like you can beat him easy with items. It's a very good teaching tool. He's not super difficult. He looks very threatening, and he's got a very simple moveset. But then again, he is literally the first boss of the game. And I really like this sort of setup. His intro is really cool, where you're in the asylum and he drops down, and you shit yourself and you just have to run through to the wee side room. So we're gonna put him about A, I'd say. No, probably low A. We'll say low A right now. Right, and then so I know that it's a bit like you can actually beat a lot of bosses in different order, but we're gonna try and keep it in order. So we would have the Taurus Demon next. Is this him? Is this Big Daddy Taurus? It is Big Daddy Taurus. I have no strong feelings about Taurus Demon, mainly because every time I remember the first time I fought a Taurus Demon, he killed himself. He went to do that sort of jumping attack and he just glitched and fell off the edge of the fucking map. The Taurus Demon I have no strong feelings about. Design wise, I don't feel he really fits in. He's a big minotaur basically. I like the fact that if you run back in the field, because you fight him on like a castle, like the side of a castle, you know, and you can go up the ramp. Are they called the ramparts? I don't know. And you can jump down at him. That's literally the only bit I can think of is gameplay wise for him. C seems a bit low. But the thing is, I don't have any negative to say about him either, and some of the bosses blame me coming up, we will have negative things to say about. But Asylum Demon, sorry, Taurus Demon, he's fine. Like, just fine, you know? Then we have the Bell Gargoyles, which I know a lot of people have. The Bell Gargoyles were one of the big drop points for quite a lot of people. I really like the fight. I really love the sort of bit where you're struggling against one, and as soon as you sort of feel you've got it, the second one comes down. It's the first thing in the game I think really tests you. Because I'll tell you something, the Taurus Demon isn't super difficult, especially if you know what to do. You can say it about every boss in the game. But I feel the Gargoyles are the first real test. Also, I really like the arena of being on the rooftop, so I'm going to put them a low A. Also, you get a really cool weapon, and I really like the whole arc of like figuring out how to cut off her tails. That's really fun, you know. Yeah, low A, and I like I said, there's a reason that it's copied so much in like later ones. It's also a better version of the Man-Eaters fight from Demon Souls. Right, so then we would go, if you didn't have the Thieves' Key, you would go down to the... No, you wouldn't. You would go to Lower Undeadburg, and you would fight the Capra Demon, which, speaking of drop-off points, the Capra Demon is, I believe, the big, like, noob killer, is it? I hate that term, but you know what I mean? That was the one that a lot of people I knew just dropped the game, because, yep, guess what, boys? I love it. It looks cool. Capra's in the fucking bin, because the arena you fight Capra Demon in is so small, the camera is not designed for it, and straight away you're ambushed by 2 dogs. Once you take out the dogs, the fight is... I was going to say the game. The fight is kind of easy, but it's just the initial ambush of them, and you're in such a claustrophobic area, and it's clearly not designed. The whole boss fight doesn't feel designed for a claustrophobic area. Like, see when you come back and fight Capra as just normal enemies later on, that works kind of well. But yeah, Capra Demon fight initially, I've got to put it down in D. So you beat Capra. Now you go into, boys, now you go through the depths. Technically one of my favourite areas in the game. I say technically. I actually gave up in the depths because I played Dark Souls when it first came out. This is the first update. I got it maybe a couple of weeks after, because I had a pal that loved Demon Souls, so he was talking about Dark Souls, so he talked me into buying it. And I got poisoned in the depths by the basilisks. But seeing version 1 of Dark Souls, curse stacked, and it just kept stacking and stacking, and it got to a point where I could not take a single hit from just a normal goon, like, you know, it's the normal wee fucking zombies. So I couldn't do it. That save file was tanked because of the depths. But anyway, I really like the depths. It's really horrible looking at it. Like, it feels proper like manky. You fight the butchers in there. You fight the fucking the basilisks are fucking terrifying so much. So I still get a fucking fear. There's 2 enemies in Dark Souls that put the fear god into me. Mimics and basilisks. But anyway, so you go down there, and the intro to this fight, you're like, oh, right, what's at the bottom of this fucking big chasm? And you see this wee dragon head pop up, and you go, oh, fucking wee dragon. This massive fucking kaiju-sized monster pops out. The gaping dragon, a dragon that is so greedy that it eaten so much, its stomach burst open, and now it's got like fangs. I love the design. Mechanically, the fight, you cut its tail off. It's not super deep, but I love being a wee guy fighting a kaiju. So, see, just for the design, the lead up to, I know a lot of people hated depths. This is my fucking spicy take. I'm putting the gaping dragon. I keep saying crawling dragon because that's a Yu-Gi-Oh monster that the names kind of just cross over, but I think the gaping dragon's fucking amazing. I think he's design wise one of the strongest characters in the game, and I always look forward to this fight. So then you've done that, you make your way into Sen's Fortress. Actually, we'll wait till. So you make your way into Sen's Fortress, and right. So boys, hand in my heart with this one, the Iron Golem atop Sen's Fortress. Right, I have never done this without the help of Tarkus. I always look forward to this fight because Black Iron Tarkus fucking destroys this boss. He wipes the floor with him. Like, the whole point of this fight is he doesn't take much damage because he's a big iron golem, but you can stun him if you hit him behind the leg, and then you can, if you do have damage, you can actually knock him off balance and knock him off the map, like off the castle. It's a really cool really cinematic fight, but every time I have Tarkus do it, so I'm gonna put it in B. It's a very cinematic fight, which I always love. See, if you want me to love your fight in a video game, make it very cinematic, make it very over the top. I love the setup for itself is really cool. Sen's Fortress can go take a flying fuck to itself as mimics in it, so I'm always terrified playing through Sen's Fortress in any Dark Souls game. But anyway, so you beat Sen's Fortress, you batter the Iron Golem, Tarkus fucking destroys him, yeets him. Actually, I've got more strong feelings about the Iron Golem than I do the Taurus Demon. So anyway, you then get taken to Anor Londo, the best area in the game. And then Anor Londo, you make your way through quite a lot of big areas, including this big palace. And here you meet the most famous bosses in quite possibly all of Soulsborne. Quite possibly some of the most famous bosses in all video games. Ornstein and Smough. I'm just going to check, is this O and S? Or are they counted separate? No, it's Ornstein and Smough, right. Not a hot take, boys. Ornstein and Smough is one of the best fights I've ever played in a video game. balance each other perfectly. One is this big fucking executioner who's massive. He's got a big massive hammer and he does like very fast. He does very slow attacks, but he hits like a fucking truck. And then you have Ornstein, who is this dragon slayer who flies about the map like he's a fucking anime character with his big fucking lightning spear. It's just the double team thing is so fucking cool. See if it's you and a pal. Oh fuck! Hey Shinra, how you doing, pal? Shinra, I was just about to rage. Gaping dragon. How you doing, Sean? Did the Gaping Dragon get Shinra? Anyway, the Gaping Dragon is A tier in my list. Tough titties, we got here first. How's Dark Souls treating you? How's it going? I was really looking forward to it because I was like, I'll do this Dark Souls tier list and then we'll come in and see what Shinra's doing. Gape the fuck out of that dragon. Yes, man, I love the Gaping Dragon fight. It's just so fucking cool. But anyways, so we have got ONS. ONS is one of the coolest fights in all of... Sorry, Shinra, if you don't want spoilers, yeah, I'm going to spoil all the bosses in Dark Souls 1. Assuming you haven't seen all of them already because, you know, Dark Souls 1. So, ONS, fucking amazing fight, fucking really cool tag team fight. Right, so after that, this is when Dark Souls, in my opinion, goes a bit downhill because it opens up all these new areas. And it's not as, like... Because the really cool thing about Dark Souls is a lot of areas are like... Oh yeah, because I've never seen any Dark Souls up until this point, of course. But a lot of the areas are intertwined with each other, and nowadays, fucking after ONS, it kind of becomes a bit more linear, like because you can't go in that direction fight a boss, go in that direction fight a boss, you know. But anyways, so what we'll do is I'm just looking at who's next. Right, we'll do the optional stuff first. So you can actually go back to the asylum and fight a souped-up asylum demon called the Stray Demon, who's the same fight but uses like laser beams and shit. I don't think much of that fight. I think he's a reused fight, and I'm not saying reused fights can't be good. Reused fights rematches and shit can be good in video games, but I don't feel that it adds enough interest and stuff to it, because all it does is it adds a wee AoE to his attack. The Stray Demon's not an interesting fight. Doesn't teach you much. It's, yeah. Imagine they did that. That'd be shocking. But going back to the asylum, you can get a key, or no, it's not a key, it's a doll, or something like that. But anyway, that takes you into the beautiful painted world of Astoria. Another one of my favourite levels in the game. And the painted world of Astoria. Astoria is the fucking planet. Painted world of I'll find this out. Painted world of Aramis, there we go. Because Astoria is the world that you're in now. But yeah, so anyways, you go into the painted world. There's some really cool fights, including you see is it the Legion fight from Demon Souls. It's kind of cool. And there you fight. Where is she? Crossbead Priscilla. I always feel bad because I'm always super fucking like jacked as fuck at this point. I've never really struggled fighting Crossbead Priscilla. Never had a problem with her really. But she's a cool fight mechanically because she has the invisibility that you have to track her by watching her footprints in the snow. I'm gonna put Priscilla, yeah, about B, because mechanically it's a really cool fight. I've never really struggled with it, but I really like the fight. Also, I love her design. She's like this half dragon lady who was locked in the painting world because she had, like I said, there's this like seen as this monstrosity because she's half dragon, half human. It's really cool. But she's got a big scythe. Fucking cool fight. I like it. But there's also a soft lock that can happen with her. Very rarely. She has this moan where she dies, and the game can actually get stuck in a loop where the moan just keeps happening. And I remember a speedrunner was on record to beat Dark Souls. Like, I can't remember which one it was, but it was on record to get like a really good fucking record. Maybe even beat a record. And he got hit with that glitch. Anyway, so we've came out of the painted world. What other optional stuff can we do? I'm just looking at the bosses what you have available now. What are you? Oh, now you're a DLC. We'll save the DLC for very last. Right, so I think we've actually... No, we haven't. So, right, so now we have to head down and we have to do things to open up other worlds. So we go head down into Darkroot Gardens and we fight the Moonlight Butterfly. So, Moonlight Butterfly looks beautiful. It's this massive sort of butterfly creature. And the experience in this fight really depends on what you're playing as. Because see, if you're playing as a ranged character such as like a ranger, a pyromancer, a mage, it's a fun fight, right? Because it's more like pew pew pew, and it floats down occasionally and you can't hit. See, if you're a melee class, this is one of the most boring fights in the game. It's going in C. Yeah, it's better than a reskin. It's better than a laser reskin. So yeah, Moonlight Butterfly, it just floats down, you can stab it in the head occasionally and then it'll fly back up. This fight's pretty easy. It looks cool. That's about the most I can say for it. It's pretty boring. But again, I very rarely play range classes. So yeah, it's not the most interesting fight, you know. Right, and then another thing you need to do in Darkroot Garden is you need to fight the Great Wolf Sith, who you actually meet in the DLC later on. And this fight is really fucking good because Sith is aggressive as fuck. Sith is a giant wolf holding a sword in their mouth. And yeah, this is a fucking cool fight. There's a reason this is like so wide up. I'll put Sith not the best. It's not better than the ONS, but it's not one. Thematically, really, really cool. Story-wise, there's a really good story behind the whole fight. That you're fighting in this moonlit grave, and it's like there's fireflies about. It's a fucking really cool looking fight. Really sort of cinematic look. It looks like the end of a samurai movie. Basically, that's the kind, you know, that like where the final showdown would happen in a Kurosawa movie. But then you're fighting this big wolf with a giant sword with its class. If you want me to like a character, give me an animal with a sword in its mouth. 10 on 10. Okami, the best, you know. Anyways, yeah, Great Wolf Sith class, top tier definitely. But that takes you to that. But getting these items allows you to access what's it called? I forget what it's called. Old Londo? No, it's not Old Londo Ruins. I think it is. Is it Old Londo Ruins or something like that? Which is full of ghosts. It's an awful time, full of zombies and death knights. Once you get to the bottom of that, you face off with the Four Kings. So, the Four Kings, I've seen people have an awful... New Londo, that's the one. Why would I think... Never mind. Anyways, so... The Four Kings is a fight that happens in this void, and you're facing off with they look like Sephiroth's final forms in like a Final Fantasy game, or Seymour, one of his alternate forms, you know. And there's these multiple characters that you fight. They look cool. I had an easy time with these guys. I have never struggled with these things. Yeah, I have seen my pals, including Kieran, had an awful time with them. Again, I really like the whole setup for them that you to go get these other items so you can actually access where they are. The fight looks very cool because you're in this void, but there's not actually much to the fight that I can admit. But maybe it's just because, yeah, especially had an awful time with the Four Kings. I've got to put them in a bit mid, I'd say. Mid tier, because they're not awful. I like the look of them. They look interesting, and the fights are kind of cool. But I can't really. There's not much to it, if you know what I mean. It's just not the most interesting fight. Then. What? So that's one of the Four Kings are one of the four big things you need to fight. Then you might take a wee journey down to the Demon Ruins, right? So the Demon Ruins is where they ran out of time and it is unfinished. It's on record to say that area is unfinished. So there's large bits that are just nothing but like bosses just chucked in there to slow you down. Then like, it's a bit of a shite area. There's some interesting bits in it, but the main part being right. I can't see it. There's a lot of fire here. I'm trying to remember which one's which. What are you? Right, you're. What are you? You're a different boss. Right, so when you first walk into the big fucking Demon Ruins, the first boss that meets you is the Demon Fire Sage. Now, Demon Fire Sage sounds like a cool fight. Like, just going by the title, a Demon Fire Sage, that could be interesting, right? Let me tell you something, boys. The Demon Fire Sage is a reskin of the Stray Demon and the Asylum Demon, just in red. In fact, I don't think he is any different from the Stray Demon because he has the same AoE attacks, I don't think he has any unique abilities. He is just a red version of him. I think that's one of the worst fights in the game, mainly because at least with things like the Capra Demon, at least with fights that aren't good, they're original, you know? So I think the Demon Fire Stage might be one of my least favourite fights in the game. Then, right, so you go a bit further into Ruins, you come by this really cool area full of parasites that has a really cool story moment with Solaire, but then you cut through this bit and there's a big bit of lava everywhere, and you face off with, what's it called again? It's not the see, I call it a caterpillar demon. No, actually I've got wrong. I've been very wrong. Wrong. There's another boss in here called Ceaseless Discharge, you know, which never ending come, and he's just this big sad boy that's burning to death, and he's really sad, and his hitboxes are broken as fuck, and I mean broken because I had an awful time with him. He is ridiculously easy if you know what to do, because you can get him to walk just off the fucking edge of a cliff, but Ceaseless he's a high C. He's not a bad fight. Actually, he's a bit. The thing is, I've got more negative feelings about him than I do positive, so he's definitely on the lower end. He's fine though. He's fine. I like that you go into his arena first, and he only attacks you if you, like, there's a body there, and if you interact with the body. Because the body's like, oh look, I've got items. If you take items, that's when he spawns and goes, fuck you, and attacks you. I like that. That's kind of cool. But aye, you can get fucked. Right, so then you could go deeper into Demon Ruins, and then you are in Lost Islet, I believe. But to access, because Lost Islet is covered in lava, to access that you need to fight the centipede. Is it a centipede demon? Yeah, centipede demon, which isn't fine, but he's fine. I'm gonna put him in here as well. I'm gonna put him up. Yeah, the thing is, he's okay, but you fight him in such a small area because you need to, I think you need to cut his leg off or his tail off to get the ring that stops you being immune, that makes you immune to lava. But otherwise, you're fighting them in like maybe a square that's like as big as my as like it's like a bathroom, you know, it's tiny. So you cannot move, and he is this big fucker who just keeps you in the corner. It's not a super interesting fight. It's less interesting than Ceaseless Discharge. So yeah, I'm gonna put it down there. I'm probably gonna put Butterfly, yeah. Oh, and then boys, here we go. So, you've got the ring that lets you get through the lava, you've fought through the Demon Ruins, you've crawled through Lost Islet and all its weird Lovecraftian creatures. You've made it to the very end, and you're here to hunt down the Witch of Islet, which has now been mutated into the Bed of Chaos. The Bed of Chaos is one of the worst boss fights I have ever done in my life, because it expects you to do platforming in a Dark Souls game where you feel like you're constantly wading through mud that is hip high. Again, I get what they're going for. I like that it's a boss. It's not a it's not a usual boss, if you know what I mean, because it's not a boss that because you don't fight it as you know you take down two of its fucking big sensor things, and then you have to navigate and do a big fucking jump as it's like whipping at you, and then you can hit it once in its core and it dies, because everyone else is just like because that's what the witch is. The witch is this wee sort of shriveled core, you know, and everything else is just its power that's sort of stretching out. It's kind of like, you know, I like the idea, but Bed of Chaos is one of the worst things I've ever done in the game. Oh, it's a bad time, boys. So anyway, we've conquered that side. We now have two of the big ones taken care of. Now we have to hit up the catacombs. Are we everyone's favourite place, catacombs? And where is our first boy? Who's this? Oh, I can't believe I completely forgot about Quelaag. Of course, you fucking go down to Blighttown, everyone's favourite area. You can actually skip Blighttown if you're using glitches and shit, but you fight the Chaos Witch Quelaag, who looks like that. I will say no more about Quelaag's design, but Quelaag's a cool fight, because she's in a big wide open area where she's like spewing lava out. She's like a witch who's on like, the top half is human, but she's got like big horrible spider legs. It's a really cool fight. It's an open area. Her intro's really cool because you go into this big fucking net. You're in this area called Blighton, which is diseased and fucking destroyed, and then you go down and there's this big spider's nest sitting at the side, and you crawl through the big spider's nest. You start seeing these wee husks lying everywhere, and then you see this big fucking spider witch come out. It's a really cool fight. So yeah, gotta put Quelaag up the top there. Anyways, where is the one I'm looking for? Is this him here? Because I'm gonna shut down some windows. Oh, I need to click on these to actually shut them down. There we go. So who is this boy here? Is this... Right, boys. So, you make your way through the catacombs. No, the catacombs. The catacombs is the... Yes, the catacombs is the first one, which is a nightmare of an area because you're dealing with necromancers, skeletons everywhere that respawn. And then once you get through that, there's Pinwheel, this horrible necromancer. It's this really cool story. It was a guy who tried to resurrect his family, but accidentally grafted them onto himself. And he's this wizard just trying to, or necromancer just trying to fix his problem. But Pinwheel is famously a joke because Pinwheel is famously easy. I can't put my head in less than D, but he's not a bad boss. I can't wait to die in hilarious fashion to Pinwheel. Pinwheel is a joke of a boss. He is so fucking easy. It is a day off fighting Pinwheel. But then, after you beat Pinwheel, also Pinwheel drops one of like 3 masks, and if you get a certain mask, I got the mask of I think it was a father I got, which gave me extra health, and because I was a big beefy boy in my playthrough, I had Smo's armor, I had a big fucking club, and I had the mask of the father. Nothing could hit me, it was class. But anyway, so you make it through the Tomb of the Giants, which is a fucking nightmare of an area. Everyone's pitch black, there's giant fucking dug skeletons about. Oh, it's a time. But once you get to the end of Tomb of the Giants, you take on the fucking Lord of Death himself, Brave Lord Nito. And I'll tell you something, boys. I struggled so much against Nito. He's probably the boss I died the most against. Brave Lord Nito. He uses poison, he uses fucking skeletons, he can hit you from half the arena away with this ability where he reaches the ground and then explodes out. But Brave Lord Nito's a good fight. I'm gonna put him in B because I don't like it as much. I think it's better than the 4 Kings, but I don't like it as much as I like, say, the Iron Golem and shit. So Brave Lord Nito, cool fight. Actually, we're looking a bit heavy on the low side, but that's got to change. Because see, once you do that, you go into... what's his name? What's Seath's area called? The Duke's Archives, which I really like the Duke's Archives. Duke's Archives is like a big library, and it has experiments. He's this big fucking dragon who's lost his scales, and he's just trying to experiment. He's actually the reason that a lot of things in Dark Souls happened, because he turned on the king. Well, he turned on his dragons and sided with the king, and his experiments are what a lot of these monstrosities you're fighting are. So anyway, you face off with Seath the Scaleless. I fucking love the fight with Seath the Scaleless. So basically you're in this sort of archives, it's a big library area, then you cut through more experiments, and you go further and further down, and it's this big crystal maze type situation. It's a beautiful area, it's really fucking cool. You have to deal with invisible bridges and shit like that, and then right at the bottom of it is this massive dragon. He is humongous, and he's just using his ice and crystal abilities to try and take you out. It's such a cool fight. Like I said, see if you want me to like a fight, make me fight a giant monster. Make me feel like I'm a wee guy fighting Godzilla. And Seath is fucking cool. He's so good like that. I'm just seeing what the other boss fights are. Right, so I'm just counting for the rest of them. Right. And then I forgot about another boss fight. So, spoiler alert, boysies. You can do something which then causes Anor Londo to fall to night. And you come by the real Lord of Anor Londo, Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn, no. Yeah, it's Gwendolyn, who is the prince, and he is a wee shite. He teleports about the place, uses mad celestial arrows to rain down on you, and he's in this what seems to be like a impossibly forever hallway, like a looping hallway. It's massive. I really like the fight. The fight looks really cool. There's not actually much to it, because basically what you're doing is ducking behind pillars and then running up to them. There isn't much in this time strategy for it, but I kind of like the fight. I like the arena. I don't like it as much as I like it better than I like the Taurus demon, so it's got to be put there. Then we've conquered all the bosses, bar in the base game at least, bar one. The Lord himself, Gwyn. Gwyn isn't the hardest boss. He's not even the hardest, like, he's not the hardest final boss in all Souls game. He's not even the hardest boss in this game. But as far as the music goes, the ambience, his arena is so fucking cool. The music is so effective. The area before it is really, really cool because you're in this almost ethereal, dreamlike world, and then you're fighting these like his elite guard in this wasteland, and then you go into his throne room and it's just this rotten, wasted fucking arena, and he's just standing there defending the flame. Oh, it's so fucking cool. But here's the thing, boys, if you can parry, this boss is a joke. Gwyn isn't that hard, but as a fight, Gwyn's pretty fucking cool. Do I like it as much as it? I'm gonna put Gwyn about here, yeah. Gwyn's a cool fight. Right, I know you've beaten Gwyn, but what else can you do with Dark Souls? Well, there's a DLC which was called, I was gonna say Scholar of the First Sin. That is not that. The Scholar of the First Sin is the fucking is 2. What was the Dark Souls 1 DLC called? DS1. See, I'm so used to it just coming with the game. Artorias of the Abyss. Right, I fucking love this DLC. This DLC is really cool. Basically, you go back in time, and a lot of the things in this area are things that you'll meet characters, you'll see things that eventually happen, and eventually, like, you'll see characters that eventually you'll end up fighting, who'll mutate into monsters and shit like that. But you start off, and to get this DLC, it's fucking mental. You have to, like, kill a Hydra, take an item from a random NPC that you kill, but the NPC looks the same as other NPCs, so you need to go into a very certain area and kill this one, give this to a certain character, who then gives you a side quest. You do that side quest and you get transported back in time. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so you wake up in this area and the first thing you fight is a Sanctuary Guardian, which is kind of this manticore type creature. He's a good fight because he is quite a significant jump in difficulty. He's fast, he's got fucking laser beams firing at you. I like the manticore fight, not the Sanctuary Keeper. I like it, it's good. Then, oh boy, right, so we make our way through what is Darkroot Garden, Darkroot Basin, and we come by the area that you fight the Great Wolf Sith, because Great Wolf Sith is sitting on a grave that belongs to Knight Artorias. And Knight Artorias, boys, just overtakes ONS for me. That's a hot take. That's not a hot take. I'm sorry. Fucking everyone loves the Artorias fight. This is a fight. So, you know, in games where it's like you feel that it's like 50-50 power wise, if you get what I mean. Like Artorias, this is like, you know, in Bloodborne when you fight Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, and suddenly you're used to fighting giant Lovecrafty monsters. Next thing you know, you're fighting a hunter, and she's just as fast as you. She's just as, it's so fucking cool, you know. But Artorias is so fucking cool. He's this warrior that's holding this big, he's like doing your big guts or big clouds, you know, he's holding the big fucking sword, it's ridiculously too big. Doing big flips to catch you with him. It's just a one-on-one duel to the death, and it's fucking amazing. Artorias is such a cool fight. Artorias is then followed up by Manus, the Hands of Fate. I can't actually remember his real name. Lord of the Abyss, that's it. Who is this? Lord of Darkness, I guess you fight him in this big fucking evil dark void. And yeah, Manus is a pretty cool fight. Manus is super aggressive. He is so fast. He feels like a Bloodborne boss in Dark Souls. I really struggled against him. Luckily, I found a guy in, just randomly came by a guy who was helping me, because the PvP is really popular in the DLC area, and I couldn't get through without getting invaded, so I summoned this guy, and this guy completely helped me, and then bodied the boss for me. But I went back and played Dark Souls, like, Manus again, and Manus is fucking solid. He's a really good fight. One thing that's really cool is you can actually get Sif the Great Wolf to come help you back in time to fight Manus, and if you do that before you fight Sif, you have a special cutscene with Sif. But Manus, Hands of Fate, he's a high A. He's a really, actually, no, high S, I like him. And then there's a super boss in Dark Souls, a secret one. I've completely forgot his name, so I'm just going to check it now. Here we go. So if you go through a bit, you meet this blind giant and if you do something which gives him an arrow, he shoots down Black Dragon Calamite, who's in that area that you cannot access. No, he's in that area that, because everything you go in, he just flies and kills you. But if with the giant's help, he shoots at his wings, and you can go fight Black Dragon Calamite. You know something, boysies? I have never beaten Black Dragon Calamite. Calamite is fucking solid. He's such a cool fight. He's very much only for like people who are like really want to test themselves. And in fact, once you beat him, you get a ring which hampers you actively. So he's very much like, I imagine, for people that are big into it, they will do everything and they will challenge themselves in New Game Plus. He's the hardest fight in the game. But as far as fighting just this big fucking massive black dragon, he's like got one big red eye and he's really fucking cool. Just for his animations, just for his really cool area, his introduction, how you get to him, he's a high A. But he's fucking solid and I've never beaten him. So there is your Dark Souls boss tier list. So we have in D, the Bed of Chaos. And then we have the Demon Fire Sage, the Capra Demon, Pinwheel. We then have the Stray Demon, the Centipede Demon, the Moonlight Butterfly, whatever that thing is, covered in fire. That is the... What are you? That is Ceaseless Discharge. So there's 4 bosses that are just covered in fire. It's hard to tell. Then we have it's Discharge. Discharge again I like, but he's a bit janky with his hitbox and shit like that. So then we have the Taurus Demon, who I think is absolutely fine. So if there was a line between bad and good, Taurus is the only one that I think is fine. Gwendolyn, 4 Kings, Grey Lord Neo, how can I forget his name? The Iron Golem, Crossbreed Priscilla, the Sanctuary Guardian, Lord Gwyn himself. Fuck, how can I'm really bad with boss names. The Witch Quelaag, Chaos Witch Quelaag, sorry. Yeah, the Bell Gargoyles. That's the Asylum Demon. That's really weird. I don't know how that chatbot isn't just having like. It's weird how the chatbot's just not showing emotes now. It's weird. We then have the the Gaping Dragon. I was gonna say Crawling Dragon again. I always make that mistake. Then that one is so dark I can't even make it what it is. Black Dragon Calamite, Manus, the Hands of Fate, Seath the Scaleless, the Great Wolf Sith, ONS, Ornstein and Smo, or sorry, Executioner, Ornstein and Dragon Slayer. No, I fucked it, I got the right word. Executioner, Smo and Dragon Slayer, Ornstein. And number 1 slot, Knight Artorias. So that's my Dark Souls bosses tier list. Cheers for joining me, boysies. Wrong one. Wrong one, boysies. That was an assault.